Put on your favorite song, listening, and halfway through, it skips. Even if it's just for a half second, it ruins the experience. In daily use, you don't need to know what every part of your phone does, as long as everything just works. And you only really notice something when it doesn't work. Even a millisecond of lag can ruin your overall experience. What makes an experience smooth can be hard to define, but it's important. There are 6 key aspects we focus on to create a smooth experience on the OnePlus 5. And it's a combination of hardware and software and how well they work together. Let's go through them. First on the list today is our new platform, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. I'd like to welcome our good friend, the Executive Chairman of Qualcomm, Paul Jacobs, to shed some light on how we use one of the world's most advanced processors to enhance your user experience. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Kyle. Thanks a lot for having me.
Take it away.
It's really great to be able to join you all here today. Qualcomm's really proud to once again have collaborated with OnePlus in this latest flagship device, OnePlus 5, and its smooth, innovative user experience.
आ गए थे मम्मी। आ जाओ वन प्लस का लॉन्च देखो।
लगता है कृष्णा के पास गया क्या तुमको खोजने? लगता है कि गया कृष्णा के
Experiences. And while the Snapdragon 835 is big on computing power, it's 25% more power efficient than our previous generation mobile platform. That's something that power users are really going to appreciate. To deliver the ultimate photography and video capture experiences, we've engineered the Snapdragon 835 with dual image sensor processors, fast autofocus, and HDR true-to-light colors. It also features cutting-edge low-light technology that makes it possible for you to capture life almost as accurately and quickly as your eyes do. So powered by Snapdragon, the OnePlus 5 is a truly premium smartphone that combines the best in performance, power, and efficiency. And I know that consumers are going to love this thing.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Kyle.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So it doesn't look like we're going to be short on power in the processor department. But what about RAM? Apps on your phone today are becoming bigger, prettier, shinier, and more demanding by the day. The OnePlus 5 packs up to 8 gigabytes of RAM. And that number's not just for show. The more RAM, the faster you can switch between apps, and the more apps you can run. And as a result, anything on your phone happens almost instantly. So Diego already showed us how incredibly thin the OnePlus 5 is. But despite being incredibly thin, it offers great battery life. We switched to LPDDR4X RAM, the more efficient standard of DRAM, which offers 20% more efficiency than the last generation. The OnePlus 5 was also one of the first smartphones to feature a 10 nanometer processor, which draws up to 40% less power than larger 14 nanometer processors found in most other smartphones. But the power efficiency isn't just improved by hardware, it's also improved by major software optimizations. One of the software features we'd like to talk about today is app priority. So when I turn on my phone in the morning, there's a couple things I usually do. Check the news, some messenger apps, catch up on some email. App priority has the apps you use the most often ready to go when you turn on your phone, so you don't have to wait for those apps to open. In addition, it also deprioritizes the apps you use the least to keep them from affecting performance, but also draining the battery. Again, it's just as much about the overall feeling of smoothness as it is about speed. Running a lot of apps is one thing, but you also need a place to store them. The OnePlus 5's improved storage is based on UFS 2.1 dual-lane technology, which ensures that transferring files is consistently smooth. In the past, we could only use one lane to transfer data, but by adding a second lane, we've got twice as much bandwidth. In day-to-day use, this means that reading and writing files is up to 50% faster than before. Finally, let's take a look at the smoothness of our touch input. Even the slightest lag can ruin navigation. When our team started researching ways to reduce touch latency, there weren't really common benchmarks or practices for them to look at. They did tests while scrolling differed between phones. We actually brought in a special high-speed camera to track the movement on the screen and to measure input speeds. The result? We dramatically improved input speeds on the OnePlus 5, and we think you'll notice the difference. You can count on the OnePlus 5 for a consistently smooth and effortless experience, thanks to our combination of top-tier hardware and intelligent software, and how they've been designed together to work seamlessly. Speaking of software, let's take a closer look at Oxygen OS, our clean and powerful operating system. I'd like to bring back Diego to talk how we've approached software on the OnePlus 5. Take it away, Diego.
Thanks, Kyle. Software is number 5 on the list of things we want to talk about today. With Oxygen OS, we thought of Android as a starting point rather than a destination. Didn't want to mess with the foundation. Instead, we focused on refining the user experience and building useful, convenient features. Features are only added to the OnePlus 5 once we're confident they can improve the way you use your phone. With a good operating system, it's about more than just features. It's just as important is how the phone feels when you use it. We've refined the most important parts of our software, from things you will instantly notice, like customization options, to things that help in the background, like improvements to power efficiency. Just like our hardware, our approach to software is centered on an experience that is refined, efficient, and minimalistic. By implementing non-intrusive optimizations, we hope you will notice a general sense of refinement and cohesion. Let's talk about 2 useful features coming to the Oxygen OS on the OnePlus 5. If you like to read, you know that carrying around a smartphone and an e-reader is a bit of a hassle. So I've developed a new reading mode to make reading long-form material on the OnePlus 5 just as comfortable as reading an actual book. While you can read for hours from a book or an e-reader without issue, looking at the smartphone display can cause eye strain after a while. If you're in a room with warm lighting, physical paper will look warm as well. Historically, smartphone screens have lacked this characteristic. Whites are incredibly wide, even in warm lighting. With the OnePlus 5, we've added an ambient sensor that can detect the color temperature and brightness of the environmental light and calibrate the display automatically to match the light around you. Through grayscale mapping and by filtering out blue light, reading mode provides a more natural and comfortable reading experience. Reading mode can be toggled on and off manually, or you can set your favorite reading apps to open it automatically. Here, let me try opening the Kindle app right now. Did you notice that the brightness and colors of the screen change? That's because I set Kindle app to turn on the reading mode automatically. Looks a lot like paper, right? So get the flexibility of a smartphone with the comfort of an e-reader. The second feature is expanded screenshots, which we created after we realized just how unintuitive it was to have to take multiple screenshots just to capture a single page. Let me show you how it works. All you gotta do is swipe down with your 3 fingers and hit the expand button. The screen automatically starts scrolling down, saving everything on the page until you hit the button again. It's another great example of how a simple feature can make your life a little easier. Aside from useful features, many small refinements were made to Oxygen OS. Just like our hardware, you might not immediately notice all that we've done, but they add to the overall experience. Let's take a look at one example. In the past, opening up the app drawer took you out of the home screen. By slightly decreasing the opacity, the app drawer feels a lot less heavy and it's a more natural part of the launcher. Of course, we've just scratched the surface of Oxygen OS today. Our mission was to refine by adding meaningful features, optimizing performance, and streamlining the software. Reading mode is a great example of how a new hardware like the ambient sensor can enable meaningful features. Even small improvements like the semi-transparent app drawer add up to a more refined design language. To experience all that's new, you'll have to check it out for yourself. Having a strong understanding of our users is important. I'd like to talk more about how your feedback influenced some of the important changes we've made for the OnePlus 5. In our effort to make products that really meet our user needs, we have to first acknowledge and identify what we can improve on. We aren't perfect, but never settle is about always striving to be. User feedback played a huge role in the development of the OnePlus 5. We like to say that the OnePlus 5 was created together, hand in hand with you. In fact, we printed right on the back of every box. To develop better products and improve our software, we ask users to share feedback early and often. This means scouring the web, whether that's on the forums, Reddit, through customer support, or social media. It also means setting up platforms and kickstarting user-driven initiatives. We love engaging with our users at our many pop-up, tour, and events around the world. What's more important is how we use that feedback to improve our products. Let's look at a few examples. First, we would like to take a minute to talk about the OnePlus 3 display. Back when we had just launched, some users reached out to us with concerns about the accuracy of the calibration. Although we were happy with the range of colors, some felt we didn't get it right.
तो अभी का वो सुन रहा है क्या?
इसमें सुनाई देता है, मतलब रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है पूरा स्क्रीन।
तो पहले नहीं बोल सकते थे।